Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Hello and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema. So today I'm in the vehicle. I do apologize. I was traveling a little bit this weekend, but today we have a great guest. His name is Hilton Alexander. He's actually the CEO and co-founder of RouteKing. He focuses on wide receivers. The youth start from age 5 on up to adulthood to professional athletes. So we're going to bring on Mr. Hilton Alexander to tell him to share with us, a little about himself and how he affects his community.
You get them both. There you go, Joe. Yes, sir. And a good one by. Good. Go on by. Yep. Good. Yep. There you go. Good shit. Stick. Point negative. Be with your eyes. Be with your eyes. There you go.
Be careful out there in California. Mandatory 5 years
Turn it. There it is. Turn it. Turn! Football move after the catch. On the inside shoulder. There you go. Don't. Okay. Yeah, John. There it is. Right? Now, in college, you probably do that shit and go now and beat his ass. Pro, that ain't gonna work. So hit him with it one time. Hit him with that one. Okay, move me. Feel me? That's what you want. There you go. Attack mode. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yes, sir. Breathe, boy. Yes, sir. There you go. Run. Nice. There you go. Yeah. Nice route, boy. Yes, sir. Good ball.
Don't be all over your back. I'm going to you tonight, girl.
From this side, okay. Keep coming in there. Yeah. Yes, sir. Pull it. Yes, sir. Yeah. Pull it over. Hey, boy, that's it, right? Have confidence in the door. Yeah! Boy, your best route. Yeah! Like you just said, shit in the time. Yeah! Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, come in there, 6'8". Yeah.
Hello, and how are you today?
Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you taking time out to come on and actually speak with us and just share your journey and what it is you do. So I see that, is that like a camp, or what exactly is it that you put out there in the community? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give you a little background information about my company. As you stated earlier, it's called RouteKing Training LLC. It was established officially in December of 2014. And so I've been operating in that capacity ever since then, and it just continued to grow every year. So RouteKing Training initially started out with me. It started from me training my own kids. I have 2 kids of my own. I have a daughter. Her name is Kayla. She's 21. She's at the University of Mississippi State University. She's a track and field athlete, so she's a hurdler there. And then my son, Hilton Alexander II, they call him Deuce. He's a sophomore now in high school. And so I started out training them when they were young, because of my background and everything. I played football, I ran track. And so when they got of age and they wanted to start playing sports, I started training them in their respective sports. And as they were getting older and they were having success, a lot of people were saying, hey, what are you doing with your kids, right? Because whatever you're doing to your kids, can you train mine the same way?
Right.
And so I remember the first guy that I trained, his name was Ty Gibson. He was getting ready to go to college. His dad said, hey, my son's received, get ready to go to college. I just want you to train him, make sure he's ready to go. That was in December of 2014. And so I started training him. He asked me, he said, man, how much you gonna charge? I was like, man, I don't know. I don't charge for this, right? Whatever you want to give me, right? And so next thing you know, I recorded a couple of things and put it out there in the social media atmosphere, and people started calling me. Hey, when do you do this? How much does it cost? Can I get it? Next thing you know, I got 5 kids out there the next weekend. And then I got 10 kids. They were like, well, how much? I said, man, just give me $10 just to pull up. I'm already out here working anyway, And before you knew it, I had 20, 30 plus kids, and I was just finding any field. I was working at a high school called Mays High School at that time. Mays High School wasn't available. I would find any field in Atlanta. And I started with the young kids because at that time my son was playing rec ball. And so all his teammates and stuff, I would coach and train them. And then this thing got a full-fledged business going on. It wasn't something that was by design initially, right? I didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to do a training company, right? It just happened organically. And I said, you know what, let me go ahead and legitimize it. So I created RouteKing Training. One of my friends, he said, man, you know what, you the RouteKing. I said, you know what, that's catchy. That's it right there. And so I bought all the domain names for RouteKingTraining.com, .net, .whatever. It's going to bring you to the website. I created a social media platform on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. I even created a Snapchat, started the branding, make apparel and all those things. And RouteKing Training was born. And it just, every year, it got bigger and better. And within 2 years, I got my first pro athlete. And then it just grew from there.
That's amazing. So just a little background. You said you did football and track. You played for, was it the San Francisco 49ers?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Someone else. Saints?
Saints. Oh. No other Saints. There you go. You did your homework. Look at you.
Go me.
I like that. Yeah. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. So I grew up in Atlanta, APS, what we call Atlanta Public School product. And I graduated from Southside High School. And I started there in football and track, and I got a full scholarship to go to Morris Brown College, also in Atlanta.
Okay.
And yeah. So my success there led me to opportunities in the NFL, and I had a chance to play with San Fran and New Orleans.
Okay. Well, kudos to you, and kudos for you giving it back to your community, you know, where you were born and raised, because a lot of people, you know, make it to the NFL or whatever and then be elsewhere, but you actually, you know, giving back. Do you allow individuals from other states to come? Is this like a summer type thing? How does this work for the ones that, you know, may want their kids to come to RouteKing?
Yes, ma'am. That's a good question. Actually, it's open to anybody. I do have individuals that come from out of state to train with me. As for example, I had the 3 receivers from the Denver Broncos that flew in town just to train with me for 2 weeks last summer. I got a lot of NFL receivers that they don't necessarily live in Atlanta or even play for Falcons, but they be in the city. So I've had the opportunity to train those guys when they're here. You know, I travel to do camps. I just left Dallas, Texas to do a camp in Cowboy Stadium. I go to Tennessee to do camps, Florida. I mean, you name it. Yeah, so I travel, and I also have individuals that come from out of town. And it's a year-round thing. You know, football now is one of those sports that has become year-round because of the training aspect of it. Training is really huge. Yeah, if you're not training now, you're behind. You know,
my
so
son
you got to
behind.
train.
He's not training
Yeah.
now. He's gaming.
Yeah, he got to
Look,
get the training. Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
got to get the training if he really have goals and aspirations to play, not just football but any sport for that matter, right? Because I train athletes, not just football players. I got softball girl. I got girls that now got scholarship that I've been training since they were little. One of them just got a full scholarship to go to Duke. The other one got a full scholarship to go to Georgia, and they play
Man.
softball and run track. You know, so I have track athletes. I have basketball players, baseball players. I even had an Olympic handball player. You know, because speed and agility, that is universal. No matter what sports you play, no matter what position you play, you got to be fast, you got to be quick, you got to know how to change the directions. You got to be explosive. So although I played the receiver position, that's my specialty, but I also do speed and agility training as well. So I'm fully encompassed when it comes to training athletes.
That's amazing. And to say it just stumbled in your lap, you know, like,
Yeah,
wow. How
yeah.
does that make you feel? You know, like, I know you didn't see yourself doing this because, like you said, it kind of just came across from one parent wanting you to train and so forth. But how does it make
Yeah.
you feel now?
Man, it makes me feel so good to know where I started and where I am now. And I know the work that I put in behind the scenes. And, one thing I want to say is that I had the passion for it, right? I enjoyed doing it, and I still do to this day doing what I do. And what I tell up and coming trainers, because there's a lot of people that see it now, but they only see where I am now, right? They only see me with the NFL guys now, but they didn't see 5 years ago when I'm outside at the field, get ran off from this field and ran off from that field, and I got little kids that can't even walk in a straight line, let alone do a drill. But just put that work in. I call it the oven mentality, right? We don't mind putting something in the oven. I'm from the old school, so we put it in the oven, let it marinate, let it get good and tender. Whereas these new trainers, unfortunately, a lot of them have that microwave mentality. They want that success now. So they see these pros, they see all these big name guys. They want that now, but they don't want to put that work in. So I'm just trying to tell them, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Put that work in, and the rest gonna show. The money gonna follow the passion, and not vice versa.
Do,
And so I'm in a great opportunity. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So what I was just gonna say, just today, and it's awesome that you asked me that question. Today, I just made a post today. I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet because I just made it today. But I made a post of a young man that's in Ghana, in Africa, that follows me. He practiced all of my drills. He did a drill that I just did recently. And when I tell you that kid looked just like me doing that drill, I just made that post. So RouteKing training has reached all the way globally, right, to Africa.
Wow, that got to make you feel real good.
Yes, man. That's what I do it for. I love the development part. I love to see a kid that nobody knew about this kid. Nobody believed in this kid. Nobody wanted to work with this kid because a lot of times they want to attach themselves to the kid that's already good, right? But I don't mind the development. I love instilling, self-esteem in these kids. I love to watch them grow and develop. There are kids that now are thriving in high school, 9th and 10th graders that I coached since they were 5 and 6 years old. That's what I get the satisfaction for.
And then to see them when they do become pro players, like you help with that. That has to be fun. What I was going to ask you when you mentioned like some trainers, they want that microwave mentality instead of the oven mentality. Do you ever run across any children or adults that you train that want it right now, not willing to put in the work? And if you do run across that, how do you handle it? Like, what type of motivation do you give them?
Yeah, so what I try to tell a lot of the kids that I have an opportunity to work with is that you know, you can't have a sense of entitlement with this, right? Nothing is going to be given to you, not just in sports, but just in life, period. So I instill hard. If you don't learn nothing from me, you're gonna learn hard work. You're gonna learn discipline, right? And you're gonna learn to earn everything that you get, and you're gonna learn how to finish. If you watch me train, I never allow a kid to slack. And I tell them, if you're going to slack, you come to me. And what I mean by slacking, you're not going full speed, you're not giving full effort. Because I feel that those are two things that you can always control, right? You can control your attitude and you can control your effort, right?
Absolutely.
And so if you're going to have a poor attitude and you're going to give me minimal effort, technically I really don't want to work with you. Tell your mom and dad to keep their money, because it's not about the money for me. I'm trying to put something in you that's going to take you further than sports. Because
Absolutely.
if you learn to give your all into everything that you're trying to do, then the rest is going to take care of itself. And so I just tell them to trust the process. My son's going through right now. He's 15 years old, right? And what's going on nowadays is that kids are getting offers early. I'm talking about 8th graders getting 10 offers to go to college. 9th and 10th graders, they already getting all these offers. And you got other kids that see that and they're like, well, I'm just as good as them, or I'm better than them. Why I don't have offers yet? You know what I say? Don't worry about their journey. Their journey is different from yours. Trust the process. Just keep working. And whatever's for you is going to be for you. Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's what I tell them. If I can leave them with anything else, just trust the process, put the work in, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Everything else will fall into play. That's so true. When you travel to these places to, you know, give them the knowledge and train individuals, how long are you staying? Like, for an example, if you were to come to South Carolina, hint,
Yeah.
you know, to do some type of training, how long do you stay for that training?
Yeah, so it just depends on the setup of the camp and whatever that we agreed upon. But for the most part, they're going to be either a 1 or a 2-day training for the most part.
Okay.
For example, when I just went to Dallas, it was a 2-day camp. I was there for 3 days. I went there the day before, and it was a 2-day camp that I went to in Dallas. I've gone to Tennessee for a 1-day camp. 2 years ago, I flew all the way out to L.A. I went to L.A. and it was a whole week. It was a whole week camp. You know, there. So it just depends on the makeup of the camp and whatever we can agree upon logistically, and what the scope of the camp may be. If it's a 1-day skill development type of deal, you know, we can work that out. If it's something that's going to take a little more time, maybe if there's some competition involved, you know, it can be a 2-day deal. If you're going to have other things involved, such as life skills and, you know, life after football, and you got guest speakers coming in, and, you know, it's bigger than just sports, then it may be a week-long deal. So it just depends on what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Have you ever did a training like a one-on-one for someone?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I do a lot of, we offer that, we call it private training. And I do offer that as well. Whenever you do private training, that's usually at a premium, right? Because you're pulling me away from the masses. You know what I'm saying? So you got that one-on-one attention from me for that hour. Usually those sessions will last about an hour long with the one-on-one trainers. And believe it or not, there are a lot of parents that don't spare any cost when it comes to their kids and their kids' development and their kids' future. So they'll pay that price just to have that one-on-one tutelage from myself and other trainers like me, just to make sure that their kids grasp. Because everybody don't thrive in a big group.
Right.
You know, so if I can get them one-on-one, get that attention to detail, and I enjoy those too. I do enjoy those type of sessions, because now I can really work, right? When you're in bigger groups, you can't do as much. You can do as much in scrub. You got to keep it moving, right? But that one-on-one, it's just me and that athlete at that particular time, and I can be creative as I want to be with that individual, and I can give them drills that are specific to their sport, and then also specific to their training. So they're one.
How, and I don't know how you may answer this, you don't have to answer it. So with the one-on-one training, what would you say, or how effective would that training be if a kid only came like one time? You get what I'm saying? Like, they have something coming up. They only came for that one training, that one-on-one. How effective do you think that would be, or do they need multiple sessions?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not effective. It's not effective because if you want to affect a change in the individual, whatever it is that you're trying to affect, whether you're trying to get them faster, whether you're trying to get them quicker, stronger, you're trying to get them more skilled in whatever their position or their sport they're playing, it's going to take time. You know,
Right.
that goes back to the conversation we had before about
And
the microwave stuff. I want it now, right? I want my kid to be a 5-star today. Cause I'll pay you whatever to make my kid a 5-star athlete right now. It's just the reality of it. It don't work like that, right? And so I just tell them to be realistic. You know, some parents are not realistic. You know, I do see that a lot. I see kids that come to me, and you can tell that they really don't have the passion for it, and their
Right.
parents are kind of pushing them a little more than the parent want more than the kids. For example, I can tell the difference with those. Those are the kids that really give minimal effort. They're not paying attention. They're not really excited about it. But then on the flip side, you got those kids that's begging their parents. They're pulling at their parents' T-shirts, say, hey, can I go to RouteKing? I want to get some one-on-one. I want to be great. And you got parents that sign their kids up for multiple sessions because now I got an opportunity to work with them longer, and now I can affect the change. So, yeah, you need more time. You know, you can't come to me one time and think you're going to run a 4.340. It don't work like that. You know, it's just a lot of stuff that goes into, you know, affecting the change at the end of the day.
Do you ever have conversations with those parents? If you see, like, you know, parent, mom, you know, you're spending this amount of money, but Billy's just coming here and he's just not, this is not him. Do you ever have those conversations with the parents?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have had to have those conversations. And those are some tough conversations, right? Those are conversations that typically we try to avoid. But remember what I said before. It's about passion, not money for me. And so I don't want to steal. I'm not out here stealing from nobody. I'm not going to get taking your money and little Johnny come here and play for an hour. Not paying attention, not doing the drill right, not giving minimum effort. Because I ain't got time for that myself personally, right? I don't want to put my time and energy and effort in somebody that don't take it seriously. So I have had to have conversations with parents. If they ask me, you know, hey, man, can you give me your honest opinion about my son, man? Where is he realistically? And I would tell them, like, you know, you think little Johnny is a quarterback, but little Johnny can't throw a rock in the ocean right now, right? And it ain't enough training in the world that's going to help him to be able to do that. However, I do see these qualities in him. I do see these traits in him. How about you try him at this position? I think that this would be more suited for him. So you got to have some of those heart-to-heart at times. Now, you got some parents that'll listen. You got some parents that are stubborn. Oh, my boy, a quarterback, right?
Right.
And then that kid spending their whole career trying to be a quarterback. And then when they get to, you know, high school or maybe even college even, they say, son, this is your position. This is what you're going to play. So now they're behind because they don't put all their time and energy in a position that they never would have played. You know, so, and you see that a lot, especially with the youth athletes, because, you know what I'm saying, at the youth level, everybody want to be a quarterback. Everybody want to be a running back. But what I try to tell them, y'all better pay attention to what's going on with the draft.
Yeah.
The running backs are getting drafted. The draft just occurred this week. I think we only had maybe one running back that was drafted in the first round, right? But there were several defensive back drafted. There were several offensive and defensive linemen. There were several receivers drafted, and, you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, just do what you feel that to be in the best interest of your child in the long run. You got to think future, not now. Yeah.
Right. Oh, you gave us some good stuff, especially me because I have boys. So I appreciate you talking to me about it and just giving feedback and all that good stuff. If there's anything else that you want to put out there in the universe, anything you like to share, anything motivational, what would it be for the little people that have the drive but maybe is kind of scared to go out there and get it? What would you tell them?
So what I would tell them is have faith. Have faith in your own abilities. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in, you know, your ability to be able to work at whatever it is you want to be great at. And this is just not sports. If you want to be the best doctor in the world, the best teacher in the world, aside from being the best football player, whatever that is, you got to work at it, right? Push yourself, believe in yourself. Don't ask for any handouts. Don't expect any handouts. Go get it. That is a message that I give to both of my kids. My daughter was a 4-time state champion in Georgia. In the hurdles, in 100-meter hurdles. She got a full scholarship to go to Louisville. She went right in. She's she was the freshman of the year at Louisville. She was she's the indoor and the outdoor record holder at Louisville. Right. My son was a 4-time state champion in track and field in 100 and 200 meters. He was a 4-time, you know, player of the year and all these awards. But I always tell them, be humble yet hungry for more. Right. Never let your guard down. Never feel like I made it, because when you're not working, there's somebody else that is working.
Yes.
Right?
You're right.
And so, and what I tell them too, try to perfect your craft so you can be consistent. Because the conversation that I have with a lot of my athletes, especially my high school athletes, I say, you know the difference between y'all and the NFL players that I train? It's not ability. It's not size. It's a mentality. It's consistency. They don't do the right thing sometimes. They do the right thing all the time, and that's what makes them pros.
Yes, I
Right?
love it.
Yeah. I tell my son all the time, I'd rather you be consistently good than occasionally great. Because those are the
Absolutely.
ones that have longevity when you do make it to the pros. You talking about playing 10 years, 15. Those guys just consistent. I know he's going to be where he's supposed to be at all times. I know he's going to catch that football. That simple.
Yeah.
I don't need somebody that's going to make a one-hand catch every now and then, but drop the routine and he's not where he's supposed to be. So just be consistent. Work hard at whatever it is you're doing. Have faith in yourself. Believe in yourself. Because I can't believe in you if you don't believe in you.
Absolutely. That's 100% right. I thank you so much for this, Mr. Alexandra. I say Alexander. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
time out of your Sunday, like you say, you just coming from, doing what you're great at, and both of us in vehicles, so I'm not going to hold you too long. But
Okay.
I appreciate you coming on. I really, really do. I'll definitely, continue to put it out there. Make sure you tag me. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or Instagram, but, so I can share the RouteKing, because I know it's kids out there that can utilize you, and I know kids is out there that want to be great like my kids. So I'm definitely have to look into this for myself. So I want to thank you for coming on. If there isn't anything else you'd like to share with us, I want you to have a great day. Viewers, y'all have a great day. And as we always say on Let's Sip and Talk with Freema, peace and love.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Freema. Thank you. Last little shout out. Y'all follow me on Instagram, RouteKing_1. That's RouteKing_1. I'm on Facebook, Hilton, RouteKing Alexander. And I'm also on Twitter, RouteKing_1. And if you want more information about my program, I'm online, www.routekingtraining.com.
All right. We're here for ourselves. Let's get these kids trained. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I appreciate you. Thank you, sister.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.